Hello and welcome to the HQ Movie Review Podcast. I'm Josh,
I'm Jack.
I'm Brandon.
And I'm Heather.
and this week we watched Shark Tale.
Yes, we did.
Oh boy.
A classic.
Ooh, it was much better when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
I don't think it's that bad.
It wasn't terrible.
No.
It was not like absolute garbage, but it wasn't great.
I had a very enjoyable hour and a half.
I didn't.
Well, you don't like movies, so.
I
That's fair.
endured that hour and a half.
I survived. I made it.
Brandon got a t-shirt that says I survived Shark Tale.
And all I got was this lousy t-shirt.
See, as a kid, this was honestly one of my favorite movies. I really enjoyed this movie a lot.
Yeah. I remember watching it a lot growing up.
I listened to the soundtrack a lot.
That's fair.
I definitely preferred Finding Nemo as the this was back when Disney and DreamWorks were doing their like warring thing where they'd put out the same movie like a year apart
Yeah.
or less. And Nemo was the better of the two fish movies.
Yeah.
But I still enjoyed this.
I definitely preferred Finding Nemo over Shark Tale.
Didn't have weird huge-lipped fish-faced people.
Yeah. I didn't watch Shark Tale on repeat.
Yeah. Yeah, and some of the faces in this movie were,
They were interesting.
ooh boy.
Well, because the thing is, they're like, hey, we have all these big celebrity actors. What if we tried to make the fish look kind of like them?
And then they...
And then they didn't really.
And then Will Smith fish. Once again, a
Fish.
thing.
Not Will Smith fish.
Yeah. It's not great. It's also a point in history where Will Smith is very much trying to do the whole like, hey, I'm still the Fresh Prince thing, but
Yeah.
it's not because
Yeah.
it's 2004.
Yeah. When did Men in Black come out?
2003?
Something, I don't know.
I would think it's 2000 and something.
Was it? No.
To the
Was it-
internet.
Because it feels like that's when he started to get out of his like Fresh Prince phase, you know?
No. Was that 2006 or 2007?
Men in Black is definitely not. It's 1997. What the
Yeah.
What are you
Bruh.
talking about? 2007? You're a whole decade off.
I mean,
Damn.
that's
okay.
when I watched it.
Okay, that's not.
Yeah, 'cause
not
it
good.
came
I
out
didn't-
before you were born.
Yeah.
And
Came out
why
before I was born.
why did you think that my answer was ever going to be right?
Because maybe you just knew information.
No.
Right, a fool I was.
Look, I may be a student, but my head is empty.
Zero thoughts.
You got a first note?
Give me a high C.
Anyway, my first note is it's not about music actually. I mean it is, but like, why do the sharks know the Jaws theme?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
There was a Jaws billboard.
Yeah, but that was for like toothpaste.
I guess
Yeah.
that's fair.
Like they know the theme from the movie Jaws and they hum it.
Yeah, and it's their theme
Yeah,
song,
they
apparently.
know that is their theme song.
I don't know.
I want to know how much of like human culture makes it down here, and how much of it is hey we just recreated our own thing.
Well, Will Smith's character, Oscar, makes a whole bunch of movie references throughout this film.
Yeah, but like those could theoretically be movies that they just also have. But like, why would Jaws doesn't make sense as a movie that they would have.
I mean, it could. It'd just be more of like a serial killer thriller movie
I
than
guess.
a shark attack thriller.
Like, does it still take place at a beach or?
I mean, I imagine.
Do
Okay,
they have
look, if they
beaches?
have fire hydrants, they have beaches. They have like it's like the Goo Lagoon thing where
This
it's like
is
a
SpongeBob
salt
rules.
lake thing.
Yeah, no, that is one of the downsides of this world that DreamWorks has created. It is very much based on like pop culture references and puns and things that don't make sense if you think about it for more than like 2 minutes. Like, How did that guy set up a whole sushi shop?
Oh yeah, the sushi shop.
What?
I mean,
How
his
did-
business was clearly struggling.
How do the
How did he get to the stage where he had a business? He's selling people. He's selling people meat. That's like if somebody opened a store for cannibals and it was just like down the street. Like what? How did he get that far?
how did the taxis work and the buses? Like
It was a tour bus.
there was a tour bus.
Yeah.
And people got off.
Well, because like if you're like riding inside the mouth of a bigger fish, I guess that makes sense. Like in the scene where they throw Oscar in the trunk, they're just throwing him in another fish's mouth and closing it. So like I get that like buses as a concept sort of works, but like they were fish that were just taxis and they're just like small fish with like taxi cab colors. Who are they taxiing?
Who knows?
I mean, you have the same problem as like the Cars universe,
Yeah.
where it's
Yeah.
like, well, if you're born as a bus, what the fuck do you do?
Yeah. The thing is, I feel like somehow the Cars universe is better thought out than this. Because, like, they do have transportation vehicles that there's planes that have seats for cars inside. So they have transportation vehicles. Like a bus, that one doesn't really make sense. All of the cars are car-sized. You could fit, like, what, 3 people on a bus, maybe? And they don't have doors big enough for cars. That one doesn't make sense. But they do have like transport, like there are things for that. This one doesn't make sense. Like a lot of these are just puns for the sake of puns, and I get that they're on screen for like 3 seconds, but I think about these things. My next note was actually fish puns,
Yeah.
There were a lot of
and then
fish
just
puns.
a list of fish puns
whole lot of fish
before I
puns.
stopped trying.
I think one of my favorite jokes in the movie was towards the end, where it's like, if you don't, she'll be sleeping with the fishes. And there's a pause where they're just like, wait a minute.
No, the dead ones.
The dead.
The dead ones. And then there's just pure terror on the face.
Like that's too cool to be like, you'll be walking with the people,
Well, no,
the
I mean,
dead people.
well, sleeping I feel like is still sleeping.
I guess yeah.
So it'd be like
with
she's
the
gonna be
people.
sleeping with the people, and Oscar's like, "You're, what are you gonna make her do, sir? That's illegal."
I mean, they are like a mob. They do illegal things.
Do they?
Yeah,
I mean,
definitely.
What do
a
the
mob
sharks-
does.
No,
The
I mean like,
sharks
what does
don't-
the shark mob do aside from eating people, which is a thing they have to do to live?
They just
They don't do anything.
they charge places to be like, hey, do you want me to come eat you?
Yeah, the protection racket's really all they're doing.
Yeah, that's basically it. It's like,
Sykes-
you gotta pay us a protection fee. That's about
Sykes the one who becomes a pimp at the end.
yeah.
It's really not explained why he's like that. He just shows up.
He just wants
In
to
a
look
pimp
like
hat.
a pimp.
He does.
With like a gold tooth and a chain and everything.
It's really weird. It's a little uncomfortable.
Yeah.
They also do make use of him being a blowfish, maybe a little too often
It's his
in the film.
it's his one gimmick.
Yeah.
See, what makes me uncomfortable is that they bring like fish race into it, and that's weird.
Oh
Yeah.
that was real
He's
weird.
like, yeah, it's all right. A lot of white fish can't snap. And I'm like, what? In what way is he? What are you implying here, Will Smith fish? Because then they make the same joke at the end, where Sykes is doing it to like Don Lino. He's like, yeah, it's all right. A lot of great whites can't snap. And I'm like, that one makes a little bit more sense, but also like, what? Why? DreamWorks, why? It's real awkward.
Yeah.
Can we talk about like the cast of this movie for a second?
Yeah.
Yeah,
like
definitely.
Will Smith is the main voice actor.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he, like, as a voice actor, he does a decent job. It's not terribly voice acted.
No, I think any issues with voice acting come down to directing here.
Yeah.
I think because it's very much like the actors are thinking, oh, this is a kids movie, and they're being directed as such. Not like
Yeah.
like there's movies for children, and there's like kids movies, or like movies that kids can see. There's like different
Mm-hmm.
ways this can be. This one's definitely like hey, we're aiming this specifically at kids, and we're just gonna throw in some like weird jokes for the adults,
Yeah.
but it's not for them.
Yeah. But no, so Will Smith is the main actor. We've got Lenny, voiced by Jack Black.
Yep.
This is our second Jack Black movie in a row.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is wild. Robert De Niro
Yep.
is the head shark boss guy.
Don Leno.
Don Leno or
Yeah,
something.
Leno.
Don Leno.
Jay Leno. Don
Oh
Leno.
God, I don't want a Jay Leno shark.
A really big chin. Remember the time Jay Leno was in Cars?
Yeah,
That was weird.
yeah, it was.
Anyway,
And we've got Angelina Jolie in this movie.
Yep.
That was
It's-
weird. I didn't notice that until the credits. I was like, oh, that makes sense.
and like, her fish does look like her in about as much as Will Smith fish looks like Will Smith.
Yeah.
Listen, these fish look like their voice actors as much as the cats in Cats look like they're live action actors.
I mean, honestly, significantly less, which is unfortunate. When you're worse than cats, that's real rough.
Next note.
All right, just burn through these, huh? My next one was that it's a solid car wash remix.
Yeah.
I like the whole
Yeah.
soundtrack of this. I mentioned I have the CD from 2004.
Yeah.
I mean, Hans Zimmer did the music for this, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, the weird thing about like the soundtrack for this, usually when there's movie soundtracks, there's like, hey, here's the songs featured, and then here's the background music, and they're like separate.
Yeah.
This one was just one CD that had both the songs and the background music. But they included the parts where the background music transitions into other music, like in the song. So it's like there's like 3 or 4 background songs total because they keep having the same music in different scenes, and then it just transitions to another scene's music.
Interesting.
Like we mentioned during the movie that they had the stereotypical like mob music in the background. In that one scene, it changes to be like Angie's music, and that's one track in the CD. It's just a bunch of mob music, and then it transitions to Angie's music, and there's no real reason for it to do that except for that it did it in the movie. That's wild.
Good.
I had
Oh.
never actually heard the Car Wash song before this movie. Granted, I was 5, but this is where I learned about the Car Wash song.
Yeah, that's actually what I was gonna say. This was a lot of people's introduction to several different songs.
I'll be honest. I still have not heard the original Car Wash song. I've only ever heard this one.
Yeah,
I mean,
like
that's fine.
Car Wash, the Don't Worry About a Thing. I don't know the actual title of that one.
That's it, you got it in one.
Is that it? Is that the title? I wouldn't be surprised.
It's clear we have different like backgrounds and upbringings.
Yeah.
I definitely heard all of these songs growing up before
But,
Shark Tale.
Have you also heard, because the other one that I got from this movie was The Wind Beneath My Wings?
That one, no.
Yeah.
That one was here first.
Yeah, those were the 3 that I was going to mention. I would have been real surprised if you had heard that one before.
Yeah, no. That one didn't really have the staying power the other do on the radio. At least not on the radio stations I listened to growing up.
Which is funny because I like the Wind Beneath My Wings song. There is one line from that song in this movie, but I remember it as being like this whole thing and made me go like, what is this song? And I had to go find out what that song was. Going back now, it's just the one line. That's it. That was the song, and it was done.
Yeah, I can tell you that one not on the soundtrack.
Yeah.
So I don't mean to backtrack here, but I was just reminded of this. You mentioned The Wind Beneath My Wings, And we get that song when the one shark is singing it at the funeral for Frankie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the mob's station, like their headquarters, is on the Titanic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they also then, in that same scene, later mention the song from Titanic.
Yeah. He's like, I can do the Titanic one again. They're like, oh, no, not again.
So they know about the Titanic movie while they're on the Titanic.
Yeah.
Which is also wild because they're at the Titanic, but there's also like this reef that's right next door.
Yeah. I mean, also, this version of the Titanic they're on is up real high as far as the ocean. Like, it's real bright down there.
Yeah.
There's a lot.
Like-
There's a lot going on.
There was an anchor, like, that just made it to the sea floor. Couldn't do that where the actual Titanic sunk.
I got it. They were looking for the Titanic because someone had moved it.
We'll take the Titanic and
we'll
push it somewhere else.
Good.
Anyway, I just had that realization, and I was like, this is fucking wild.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like a fake Titanic, because it seems like it was a pretty small ship relative to the Titanic also.
So one of the things I was reading in the trivia for this movie, it is supposed to be the Titanic, but it is based on other ships. Like the
Ah.
interior and exterior that you see is based on other ships,
Mm.
not the actual Titanic. Also, the Titanic was very small compared to today's like cruise ships.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
no, compared to today's ships, yeah.
Or are they boats, Josh?
Not this again.
Oh.
It's a callback to an episode nobody watched.
What
Yeah.
episode was that?
Yeah.
Listened to. I don't remember.
So anyway, we
Shark
got-
Tale.
Shark Tale.
So anyway, Shark Tale. So it was, as a kid, I didn't get a lot of the whole mobster aspects of the sharks.
Really?
Nah, I didn't really know what a mobster was.
Hmm.
I mean, I was what, 10 or 12. I didn't.
How
really,
old were you in 2004?
Probably 12. I think. I don't know.
No, I guess it depends on when it came out. You would have been 12 or 13.
Well, it came out in 2004.
It doesn't
The month.
matter.
The month.
It doesn't matter.
You
I
would've-
hadn't seen any mobster movies. I didn't know anything about the mob.
Like, by the time you were in middle school?
Yeah, I mean, if I hadn't seen mobster movies, where was I supposed to see it? The internet?
The internet was a thing in 2004.
Well, fucking dial up.
Josh didn't even watch Rugrats 2, honestly. Lame.
I mean, I haven't seen it.
Well, yes, but you have a sad childhood. We've established this.
I mean, I've never seen any of the Rugrats. Like, I haven't watched the show or the movies.
Well, you were born like 3 years ago. We've established this. Josh, a person from the 90s, should know something.
I count as a person from the 90s.
Do
Do you?
That's
I was a person during the 90s.
Like, technically. Like, we grant you a seat on this council, but you're not a master.
Oh, there's
I-
our Star
I
Wars
never
reference.
claimed to be a master.
Hmm. Anyway, only 90s kids remember.
yeah.
Mm.
But yeah, I remember we didn't really have internet at that time, and if we did, it was either like actual dial-up or like I don't even remember how slow our internet was.
I mean, that's fine, but like, you had TV, right? Blockbuster?
yeah.
Movies weren't really on the internet back then anyway, but like,
We had Hollywood Video.
I mean,
That's
yeah,
fine.
but also I wasn't allowed to watch mob movies.
Yeah.
I guess. I
I
don't
mean,
know.
I had never seen a mob movie before, but I got the gist of what they were.
Yeah, like, they've been depicted in cartoons and stuff.
I mean, yeah, I knew that. I'm going back to the original point is like they were just the funny accent people.
Right?
Ooh.
buddy.
I feel like it's an appropriate time for me to point out that the Italian American Coalition actually like tried to boycott this movie, and they try to boycott any movie that stereotypes people with Italian accents as part of the mob.
That's fair.
Mm.
They
Yeah.
also, like, not only are they the mob exclusively in this movie, like, there's no Italian accented people who aren't part of the mob. They talk with exaggerated, like, mob wise guy speak,
Yeah.
and also are all, like, homophobic.
So what if your son wants to dress like a dolphin?
Yeah, so what if he's a vegetarian and it makes him weird? That's fine. He's sick of pretending not to be who he is. I don't know if you guys got that, but it was a very,
No,
it
I
was
got
very
it.
obvious,
I got it.
No,
very obvious allegory.
I honestly did not remember the fact that he disguises himself as a dolphin.
Really?
I did not remember that. I remembered that he didn't eat fish, but I did not remember the dolphin part.
see, I remembered the dolphin part because of the song he sings.
Yeah. Sebastian the Whale Washing Dolphin, and then he does some like dolphin clicks at the end. It's iconic.
Real sharp teeth for a dolphin, though.
Yeah, and a real not how dolphin tails work, but okay.
I mean, we don't see any dolphins in this movie, so.
Yeah, but like I know what dolphins look like. Generally not like that.
Yeah, but no one else does.
As a bold claim.
No one else in the movie.
Well, that's definitely what I.
No, I
Yes, I do not know what dolphins look like.
No,
Grant-
Jack is the only person in the entire world who's ever heard or seen of a dolphin, like seen anything about a dolphin.
I swear I didn't make them up. They're real.
Now, is it a dolphin or a dolphin fish?
We're not doing that again either,
Oh.
Brandon.
What?
There's a fish called a
I
dolphin
know
fish?
that.
Okay.
I know.
Nope.
I understand. Why did you bring that up?
Nope.
So Hermio, a dolphin is like a tiny whale. It's really smart. Also kind of a dick.
They
Absolutely.
are assholes. They're bastards.
They're too intelligent to be nice anymore.
Well, I mean, they're not. That is a hard line you're drawing. I'm saying that they are capable of evil because of their intelligence.
They are
You were
evil.
saying that they are evil because of their intelligence, and that.
But they are. They're mean.
Listen, we just can't directly link evil to intelligence. That's a very.
No.
It's
See,
not a great stance to take nowadays.
they're dicks. Dolphins are dicks.
Why are
just,
Hang on.
Brandon,
hang on a
stop
second.
it. Brandon, you stop that.
I'm just saying that because they're intelligent, it makes them more capable
Yes.
of doing things
It gives them the
that are
capacity for
so
evil.
bad.
It doesn't mean they are. It doesn't mean they are. It just gives them the capacity for evil. Not all dolphins are evil.
Yeah.
Just like most of them.
Do you guys remember that woman that married a dolphin?
Yeah.
Well, I have some sad news to report.
The dolphin died.
The dolphin died last year.
I mean, I guess it's sad from a certain point of view.
Is she upset about it?
Oh, she's never marrying again.
I should hope not.
Or she's gonna marry another dolphin?
One dolphin was enough.
So anyway, Shark Tale.
Oh, Shark Tale.
So what could Angie and Angie and
Angie.
Angie.
Angie? Is that it? I didn't-
Ange.
Ange.
Yeah. So what could Angie possibly have seen in Oscar?
Nothing.
I mean, I imagine from like their point of view, he's handsome because he's like the equivalent of Will Smith in this weird movie.
I mean, even if he was handsome, what else are you seeing? What are you seeing in him?
He has the exaggerated swagger.
Stop it. Do you want to explain the meme? Because it's a
No.
little dated even now.
No.
No? Okay.
Some people will get it, some people won't.
Cool.
That's how this show works.
I mean, he is reasonably funny, and they're childhood friends, so I assume they have history.
I guess.
Fish story.
And show's over. Thanks. Good night, everybody.
Perish.
Josh, you can't do visual gags. No one can see that but us.
I don't know. Like, clearly she likes him so much that she's like, this, like, very sentimental, like, gift that I was given from my grandmother. This pearl that's worth thousands of dollars.
Clams.
Or, yeah, clams, my bad. I'm
Or
just gonna...
people.
That's a fucked up way to have currency.
Yeah.
We see early on in the movie, in the intro, clams are sentient beings.
No, those were oysters.
Is there a difference between oysters and clams?
I feel like
Yes,
there is, but
there
I don't
is.
know it.
There is... I don't know exactly what it is. I just know that they're different.
And are you sure that was an oyster?
It had a pearl. Oysters are the ones that make pearls, Josh.
She has a point.
You don't get pearls from clams.
Are you sure about that?
Yes, Josh. I've been to SeaWorld.
Well, there you go.
It has been a long time since I've been to SeaWorld.
I've never been to SeaWorld.
Really?
Yeah.
We need to go to SeaWorld.
I mean, I want to.
I guess.
Before we get too far from the oyster and clam debate, oysters have pearls, clams don't.
Yes.
Checkmate.
Is that the difference?
Well, so they are different species,
Yeah.
Different
Right.
animals.
but oysters have a rough shell, and sometimes they'll have pearls, and then clams have a smooth shell, and the only like real purpose they give to humans is food.
They're mussels.
Is it oysters or clams that can detect water pollution? Because that they do use that as a way to like test how polluted the water is. Because if it's like clean water, either oysters or clams will open up their shells.
So I think it's oysters,
Yeah.
but I'm basing this information specifically off of the one scene from Osmosis Jones where the kid makes a science fair experiment about oysters and pollution, and then the guy whose name I forgot, Bill Murray's character, eats the experiment and gets violently ill. And for that reason, I think it's oysters.
Fair enough. Fair enough. But yeah, clearly in this universe, oysters are sentient beings. Clams, currency.
Yeah, and they're not even actually the currency. That's just what the currency is called.
Yeah.
We see that they have dollars later. They're just called clams.
Did we?
Yeah. No, there's a like during Oscar's montage, there's a scene where they have a bunch of like green dollar bills fly across the screen to represent all of the money he's getting.
We're like SpongeBob bucks.
Probably.
Are those also called clams?
No.
What do they
They're
call them?
called dollars.
I know that
I think
most
they
of the time
might
they call
also
them
be-
dollars.
I think I have a vague memory of them being called clams in SpongeBob, and I don't know if it's real or not.
I know
don't
that
think
Mr.
it's-
Krabs calls them doubloons because he's
He's a pirate. Yeah.
No, it's definitely a dollar.
Yeah.
Because they have a whole episode about his millionth dollar.
They do. They have like dollars and like nickels and dimes and stuff.
Yeah, they just have actual, like, American currency.
But also doubloons.
Yup.
Maybe they also have clams. What if it was like pesos? Wouldn't that be wild?
Yen.
Like, it's not like it's still the English version of SpongeBob. It's just a random foreign currency for no reason.
It's just euros.
Yeah. Anyway, Shark Tale.
Shark Tale.
I think it's weird that Oscar's dad is the only fish with hair.
Yeah. That's not like...
It's just more fin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every other fish has like a hair design that's just like a part of their coloration or like their fin. But Oscar's dad had an afro. And
Maybe
male
he-
pattern baldness.
Yeah, and he lost
Like
it.
he had an afro and then he grew like a mustache. Like what? What was that?
This fish just had, like, human hair
Yeah.
for some reason.
really weird.
It was a weird mutation that caused fish to grow hair.
And I never really noticed it until this watch through that like obviously I knew all the fish didn't have hair and his dad did, but I never really thought about it like, hey, his dad's the only one with hair. Like, even like the jellyfish, who are all characters who we like use their tentacles as dreadlocks and a hat, and that's fine, whatever. He had actual hair.
Yeah.
Speaking of those jellyfish, why did they name them Bert and Ernie?
That's it. That's it. You know why.
You know
The second
exactly
you
why.
said it out loud, that's it. That's the only reason. Like, there's no we can't make a joke about it. There's nothing funnier than the fact itself that they named them Bert and Ernie.
Was it Bernie and Ernie?
Or
No, it was Bert and Ernie.
Oh, I thought it was Bernie and Ernie.
I mean, you can look back to the credits, but like,
I'm pretty sure it was Bert and Ernie. And I know that even like, because obviously we know Bert and Ernie from Sesame Street, right? But Bert and Ernie from Sesame Street are actually named after characters from It's a Wonderful Life, right?
I don't know.
are they? I don't remember.
I think so.
I watched It's a Wonderful Life like 2 years ago.
My family watched it every Thanksgiving
Interesting.
Why Thanksgiving?
because it's the transition from Thanksgiving to Christmas.
I guess. I just always thought of it as like a Christmas movie.
They were named after Bert the policeman and Ernie the cab driver from It's a Wonderful Life.
Interesting.
That says Bernie.
Oh, it says
These are Bernie.
Bernie,
Yeah,
Bernie and Ernie.
they're Bernie and Ernie here.
Oh, okay.
So, not a
Like how
Sesame
you-
Street reference.
I like how we used the same photo for both.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if you Google Shark Tale characters, it's the same photo for both of them.
I mean, were they ever like individually separate?
No, they only showed up together, so that makes sense.
Did they have distinguishing features between them?
Yeah.
Yes, actually.
Oh, absolutely.
They had different facial hair, in quotes.
And facial, like, features as
Yeah.
well. Like, the one guy had a very thin face, and the other guy was very, like, wide, round chin.
Yeah. I couldn't tell you which one's which because they don't show up separately,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but they do look different.
And I don't know enough about the voice actors' voices.
Ziggy Marley's Bob Marley's son, famous reggae
I
singer.
knew that.
Dougie Doug is also a music artist. I don't think these characters look like they're actors.
Yeah.
It's mostly the fish that do that.
Yeah.
So I think it's funny how, like, at Frankie's funeral, everyone's like, "Oh man, it's so bad that we lost Frankie and Lenny." Lenny's still out there. It's a tragedy. They're both gone.
Oh man.
My condolences for Frankie. Also Lenny, yeah, sure, I hope he gets found, whatever. Like, like obviously the funeral is for Frankie, but like no one cares that Lenny is missing and also dead, or presumably dead. They're just like, oh man, it really sucks that Frankie's gone, and Lenny, I suppose.
I mean, Frankie was the one that was actually going to take over the business.
Yeah,
Yeah, like the Don Lino just like kept making excuses like, nah, Lenny's like he's smart. He'll run like the business side. And Lenny's just like, what?
He'll be an accountant.
have you guys ever seen Arthur Christmas?
No.
No. But like I want to.
It's a good movie. It has a similar sort of thing with the brothers there. I won't go into it more, I guess. I
You
do
should add it
recommend
to the list.
I feel weird adding holiday movies to the list because they'll just pop up whenever.
Yeah.
That's true.
It could be our Christmas special.
We tried to have a Christmas special and it never worked out.
No, the reason it didn't happen was because we all went, oh, we should watch Rise of the Guardians. And we went, oh, wait, that's an Easter movie.
I mean, it's basically a Christmas movie. It just happens at Easter. It's a good movie, though.
It is a really good movie.
I like it. Do we want to cut to the game show? I know I was supposed to come up with a new name for it, but I didn't.
Because
The
you're
new
a
name
failure.
is The Game Show.
Yeah, the new name is The Game Show.
Welcome to the game show. The
bit
only game
generic.
show that exists. Our game show.
Yep, that's it. The only one.
The only one.
The number one game show on the internet.
I am not going to make that claim.
Well, it's the only one.
The number one game show on this podcast.
The number one game show in America.
The number one game show in this household, run by someone that lives here.
Even more specific.
How many other game shows happen here?
None. That's the point.
You hesitated.
But there could be one, and he wouldn't want to compete with it.
You guys know how this game works. I read you the title of a user review. You guys have to guess what they rated it out of 10. Whole numbers only.
Let's do
We
it.
got 4 of them.
Oh boy.
All right.
This first one, this is not, repeat, not a kids movie. Sorry, a kids' movie. They did kids apostrophe S.
Huh. That gives me high hopes for this person in their review.
3.
5.
I'm gonna go with a 1 on this one.
That's fair. I don't blame you.
I've tricked you all. It's a 10 out of 10.
What? Okay, first of all, who would ever rate Shark Tale as a 10 out of 10?
Yeah,
Second
right?
of all, why don't they think it's a kids movie?
So they just mentioned a bunch of the like adult gags that happen in the movie that there's no way kids would understand.
I don't think this person's ever seen a kids movie before.
Yeah, that's kind of the point.
They have a lot of those. They don't. The point is for children not to understand the adult jokes.
One of the things that they say is, if you're not a TV and film buff, prepare to be bored by what appears to be a mediocre storyline. Or if you're a teenager who think Colombo is a country in South America.
Columbo?
It says Colombo.
Columbo
It
is
says
a
Colombo.
Columbo is a TV show.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's the point is that Colombo is not a country in South America.
I was gonna say Colombo is a manufacturer of like motors,
I don't think that's
Precision.
what they meant either, but okay.
precision spindle motors.
Sure, man.
They then go on to say, drown me if I'm lying, but this is a great film, and don't miss the Gigi the Whale short on the DVD.
So this person's been drowned then.
I was gonna say.
They are sleeping with the
Well,
fishes,
this
the
was
dead
posted.
The dead ones.
This was posted in 2005.
Oh no.
They've been gone a while.
Yeah, you know, they've only increased the chances that they have drowned since then.
So the point goes to Jack for guessing a 5.
Wild.
We take those.
This next user review, the fresh fish of Bellwater.
Terrible.
Oh
Terrible.
my god, no, they put so little effort into that.
So bad.
They could have put the fish prince of
You
Bel
know
Air.
what? You know what?
That would have made so much more
You know
sense.
what? You know what? Nope. It's a 2. It's a 2.
I'm gonna say
Are we
7.
just gonna rate their title now?
That's what I'm gonna do because I've won enough times already that I don't care anymore.
It is a bad pun though.
It's a very bad pun. That's why I chose it.
Yeah, so my vote was 7.
So you have a 2 and a 7. Josh, you're the current champion of this game.
No,
I don't think that's how that works.
He is.
I'm the most recent winner.
And the current champion. That's how that works.
Mm,
It's like Jeopardy. Except all the contestants come back every week.
Let's see. I'll go middle road 5.
Josh gets the point. It's a 4 out of 10.
Woo woo.
Wow.
You guys pointed out that this person did not put enough effort into the title. That's because they wrote 12 paragraphs.
oh my
Oh
god.
no.
Lord.
I feel like you would have put more effort into it. They did all that writing.
They wrote so much about this. I'll read their conclusion for you.
Did they give us a TLDR or something? Or?
No, they don't give a TLDR, which is why I'm
Oh.
just going to read the conclusion.
Oh no.
Really, this movie could have been so much better. Shame on you, DreamWorks, for trying to cash in on an animated underwater movie that's just like Nemo, but not. All the big-name voice actors in Hollywood can't save this one. Something smells fishy here. Throw this one back.
See,
Bad.
they write solid
Bad.
jokes in the thing, but they couldn't spare one for
Bad.
the title.
Bad.
They had 2 in the title.
Bad.
I know, and
Fresh
both of them were
Fish of Bell Water.
Yeah, exactly. Both of them were bad.
Bad.
They couldn't put one good joke in the title. They used all of them up in those 12 paragraphs.
Current scores: 1 for Jack, 1 for Josh, none for Heather.
Woo woo.
Weird.
Why are you happy about that, Heather?
Because I don't give a shit.
Our third user review. It's not DreamWorks' worst, but far from their best.
2.
That's fair.
It's accurate.
No.
It's a 6.
I'm gonna say 5 again. I think
I'm gonna change 3. I'm gonna change it to 3.
You think DreamWorks' worst is like a 2 or a 1?
No, DreamWorks Worst is definitely a 1.
what is DreamWorks' worst?
Ants.
I like Ants. It's quirky. It's not like good, but like their worst.
I'm trying to think of what else could be their worst.
How many Minion movies did they make?
They didn't make Minion movies.
They did make a Minion movie.
Yeah,
It's called Minions.
I thought that was just Illumination.
It's DreamWorks.
no, it's also DreamWorks.
Oh.
It's also DreamWorks.
Anyway, I think that
Okay.
Minions was a good movie.
No, it wasn't.
if you have if you have to write around your characters not working for Hitler because they absolutely would have, it's a bad movie.
right. So guesses were 3 for Heather, 5 from Jack, and 6 from Josh.
Correct.
Josh gets the point again. This person rated a 7 out of 10.
Wild.
Why are people rating this movie so high?
They liked the movie. They thought it had some issues.
It's not a
and the
good movie.
and the animation was questionable.
Fair.
But they thought it was pretty funny a lot of the times. And some of the like shark animation was done well with like how they swim and they move and
Yeah, no, I
things
can
like
see-
that.
I
Like
can
they
agree
did a
with
good
that.
job of that, but
It's like the only animal that swims correctly in this movie. Out of curiosity, when did that review? Like, when was that written?
this review was 2020.
Wow. Okay.
Wow.
I'm surprised. My theory was that all of these positive reviews were from like before the internet became overwhelmingly dark and terrible.
Yeah, no. That last one was 2020 and then the Fresh Fish of Bell Water was 2005.
That makes more sense.
Terrible.
Our final user review. Jack, you have a chance to tie. Score is 2 to Josh, 1 to Jack, none to Heather.
Woo woo.
Every time.
Clip that.
Will Smith, Daddy Fish.
No.
No.
Hate it.
Bad.
Hate it.
One.
0
one,
for this
one,
person.
One.
No.
One.
So this person gave it a 10 or a 1.
1. My answer's
I'm
1.
gonna say 10 because why not?
I'm gonna say 6 again.
The stakes could not be lower.
Josh got it exactly right. 6 out of 10.
Bad. Bad.
That was terrible.
Bad
That was a
user.
terrible title.
Bad user. What's the user's what's the username?
We can't put their
What's
username.
what's the username?
We absolutely can put the username. Who's gonna go onto IMDb and figure out who this person is?
What's the username?
That being said, their username is.
It's just a fucking name.
All right, so I
It's just
definitely
a
have
name.
cool. Gonna have to edit that out.
Why?
They put their real name
They
on
just
that.
put their full name. I
With
mean, some of
middle
these.
initials.
Okay, let me go through some of the other usernames. Right. So for the it's not DreamWorks one, that was our coaster and then numbers.
Fine. Okay.
Fresh Fish of Bell Water was clumsy, with like a ZY.
All right, cool. It's a dwarf.
Bad.
Continue.
And then the very first one, this is not a kid's movie, was They're Being Rougher on Them.
That also just sounds like a name.
But this is about the issue with Will Smith, Daddy Fish.
No.
He put his
Bad.
I can't believe he
Bad.
put his real name on that title.
1 out of 3 found that user review helpful. So that's fun. They flagged it for spoilers, but all they had to say was Kevin James is on point here as always. While not up there with the likes of Zookeeper or Grown Ups 2, this is a hilarious outing with this godly man. Tasty.
Bad.
Terrible.
Bad. Kill it with fire.
The spoiler is that Kevin James is in it. What?
Burn
I don't
the
know.
steak. Just take this review and burn it.
I think when you write your user review, you can flag it for spoilers, and so it'll just say warning spoilers, and you have to click on it to actually read it.
Okay, so it's a surprise. It's a I'm flagging this as spoilers, so someone will definitely click on
Yes.
it, and then they get this.
That was so bad.
Congratulations, Josh, on your second win in a row.
Woo!
This game's really gone downhill.
Do we want to guess what the overall IMDb rating is out of 10 to the first decimal point?
It's weird that you keep asking us if you want to, as if there is a choice.
I'm gonna say 4.0.
7.6.
5.8.
Heather gets it. It's a 6.0 on the dot.
Oh wow.
Dang.
Hey.
It's higher than it should be.
Yeah.
But I saw all the high reviews in the game and I went, clearly it's going to be higher than I think it should be.
Yeah.
There were a lot of user reviews when I was going through saying that the rating should be higher than it was, because at one point this was at like a 5.5.
I mean, yeah, when this movie came out, it wasn't like considered a bad movie. But just we have evolved past that. We as a society, I like to think, have grown.
This was nominated for an Oscar.
Yeah, exactly. That's where we were in 2004.
Why?
That's what the world was.
The world is a terrible, terrible place.
Are you just now figuring this out?
No, it always has been.
I mean, I think 2016 was the turning point, but
No, it was when I agree with Josh on it. It definitely started when Steve Irwin died. That's when it started.
that's fair. You know what? I can't argue that.
So this movie won 3 awards, not Oscars.
Awards.
Awards.
Or
One of them
No, 3.
was
shut the fuck up, Jack.
one of them was a BET award for Best Actor to Will Smith.
That makes sense.
Okay.
One of them was a Casting Society of America award for Best Animated Voiceover Feature Casting,
Okay.
which seems
okay.
awfully specific.
Yeah.
And its last award win is a Kids' Choice Award.
Once again, that
Yep.
makes sense.
Yep.
That one was a favorite voice from an animated movie for Will Smith. So all of them had to do with the voice
Yeah,
acting.
good job, Will Smith. You really brought
And
this
the
from nowhere.
voice acting was pretty good.
Yeah.
Like, it was just the direction, honestly.
It was the,
And the writing.
And the writing, yes, but
And the animation.
yeah.
I
But the
liked
voice
the
acting itself was good.
I think if this wasn't a fish movie,
If this was a human movie,
I don't know, man. Something. I feel like they could have made this work somehow. Like, they could have tweaked the script to make it work. The fact that it is a fish movie and that they're like, alright, we're doing a fish movie because Disney's doing a fish movie. But also, we're gonna have these weird, like, facial animations and stuff, and we're gonna make the fish sometimes swim like fish and sometimes they walk around like people, and, like, there was just a whole lot of stuff visually that they were doing that didn't really work. I think in another universe where this isn't a movie with fish, maybe not like a live action movie, but like a cartoon people movie, it could have worked. I think there's something they could have done about this.
Maybe. It's still not a great story.
No, it's not exactly the Lyra Field plot, but it is like it's cliche, I guess.
I mean, how would you even break down the plot of this movie? You got
lies to get famous and learns that's not a good idea.
Yeah.
And that true love is what really matters.
and then you've got Lenny's character is just like
Be
He's
who
gay
you
and
want
his
to
dad
be.
doesn't like it, so he runs away. But then his dad learns to accept it when he figures out that his son is alive, and he loves him more than he cares about his image.
okay, all right, that seems pretty good summary.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's this movie has some good parts narratively. It's just they're put together weird and surrounded by all of the other stuff we just listed.
Like
I mean,
fish.
those are the only two real plot points in this whole movie, aside from the whole gold digger side story.
I wouldn't say that's a plot. That she is a character in the learning about true love plot.
It's a C plot.
I don't think it counts as a plot. It's just a character that shows up as a part of his lesson to learn about like the importance of being true to himself and like true love and stuff.
I think it by default becomes plot when she's the person that turns over Angie to the mob,
No,
because then
it's-
it changes the story.
Right, but that's not what a plot
Yeah.
is. It's a plot's not just things that happen that affect. It's specifically like a storyline.
Yeah, that's
She's
part of it.
Part of both storylines. She's not her own storyline.
She's a plot device.
Yes, she is a plot device.
Okay.
Anyway, I do think it's stupid that Oscar was like, yeah, I'm just gonna say I killed the shark and that I'm protecting the reef now, and he doesn't think for a second he's ever gonna have to back that up.
Yeah.
Any more notes?
I think it's do you remember when Sykes is on the phone and he's like, yeah, I'm gonna have the shark slayer come and like kill all you guys? You just casually drop like shark genocide over the phone like that?
Yeah.
It's wild, bro. Like, I get it, circle of life sucks it sucks to not be at the top, but you can't just be like, yeah, I'm gonna have my friend kill you and everyone in your entire family and all your friends. Like, what? Sykes, chill.
Sykes is just a bad character from start to finish.
He's just a bad person.
He's a
Fish.
bad. Well, you can say person. They're personified. Yeah, I don't. Honestly, he's actually not really a great character either, but he's also a bad person.
Yeah.
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 The two are mutually exclusive, and he does both of them.
Yeah, like he goes from you are worse than the shit of the whales that go through this car wash to hey, I'm your manager now. Let's make money.
Yeah. See, that's a point in the bad person camp. As
Yeah.
far as character goes, that's a very strong character moment. It's like, hey, this is exactly who Sykes is. He cares only about the money and the fame to the point where the person he was degrading as the bottom of the food chain underneath excrement is now like someone he's pretending is his best friend and he's his manager. Also, while Don Luno, after having all of this, like the entire story happens, one son dies, the other son goes missing. This guy claims to have murdered both of your sons. Then he threatens your entire community, like tries to run you out of town. You figure out he's lied about it. He has been holding your son, as far as you can tell, like hostage or something. He wasn't hostage, but Don Lino doesn't really know what the situation is at the time. He's like, "Oh, you've had my son the whole time, and you killed the other one, and like, now you're threatening me and my family." And then it turns out that, oh no, you were lying about it. Now my son ran away, but I accept him now. And hey, you, Shark Slayer, we're cool, I guess. I'm gonna stop like running my protection racket in your town.
Yeah, right.
Like, that's just a wild. That wrapped up too fast. I don't want the movie to be longer. But it didn't make sense. It didn't make sense that he was just like, yeah, we're cool. Like, what? One of your children is still dead, and I know this guy is not at fault, but he did take credit for it and gloat about it on the news. Anyway.
Yeah.
I think it's weird that in the end Oscar decides to like run the car wash with Sykes and not just take it over.
I mean, it's still Sykes' car wash. I don't understand how he would have like kicked Sykes out.
He would have just bought it from him.
Right, but you have to be selling a thing for it to be bought. Like,
No, you absolutely can just be like, hey, I'll buy this car wash from you for like $1 million. And they go, $1 million? Sure.
yes,
Clams.
clams. But like, not that Sykes wouldn't have taken that, but also I feel like Oscar wouldn't have offered him enough for him to be like, yeah, I'll give up all of the entire business to just take money and go somewhere else, I guess. Like, it's still income.
Yeah.
it makes sense that you want to keep part of it. We have to end on a joke somehow. Anyway, this has been Shark Tale.
Just keep the long silence in after. We should end on a joke. Quiet.
Yeah, this movie just, it doesn't inspire a lot of jokes.
It
It's
doesn't.
just,
The movie itself is a joke.
yeah,
It's too bad it's not a terribly funny one.
Yeah.
most of the comedy is not intentional. Like, there's some good intentional comedy, but I feel like the majority is like not intentional.
Yeah. I don't know. It's hard to tell what was intentional or not with this movie.
Like, I feel like they took this movie a very serious, like almost not. It's not serious, but it's like
No.
a much more serious route that it probably should have been.
I don't know. It didn't seem like they took anything seriously with this. Like, at one point, Lola is like, she takes him aside. It's like, listen, I'm really shallow. Like, she tells him that she is shallow and in this for the money. Like, you can't.
Yeah, but that's not joking.
No,
like, that's
that
not
is.
comedic.
The joke is literally that she's telling him about, like, she's just explaining her character to him.
I feel like that's just because they felt like they had to because it was a children's movie.
I don't know. I don't think they're talking down that much to children. I think that the joke literally is, hey, I'm just gonna come out and say that I'm shallow, because no one's expecting that.
Her character is wild. Like, that's it to her character. There was no other purpose for it.
Yeah, no, that's it.
They
She-
needed someone to tell Don Lino
Yeah.
who Oscar was.
And to also incite, like, jealousy or, like, some kind of change in the relationship between Oscar and Angie.
Yeah, and in the end, when we were like, hey, how did the sharks know about Angie? Because she's never been on the news. Lola was there to tell them about it. That's not bad writing.
Plot device.
Plot device. Also, when she comes on, they play a song called Gold Digger.
Oh, God.
Like, it's not the Kanye West Gold Digger. It's a different song called Gold
Yeah.
Digger. But still, like, they knew what they were doing. I think this movie deserves not a lot of credit, but some credit.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Her introduction scene was not okay.
This
That's
man
weird.
said millionaire and just what?
Yeah, no, it's very self-aware sometimes.
Only sometimes.
Who got the tip that horse race was rigged
Okay,
when
so,
it was very clearly rigged the opposite way?
so hear me out. Those two fish that Oscar overhears, they never say that Lucky Day is going to win. They say, what's the fish's name? Or horse.
They say horse.
No,
They say horse?
Yes. Because it's
yeah,
a
they did
horse.
say
It's a seahorse.
It's a seahorse,
They-
yeah, I guess. But
they-
like, hey, what's its name? It's like Lucky Day. Like, I know a guy in the stables. It's a shoo-in. He didn't say Lucky Day was gonna win.
No, he said the race was rigged.
Yeah, he did. He said the race is rigged.
The race is rigged,
He did not say Lucky Day was gonna win.
and he said, "What's the name? What's the horse's name?"
Yeah. If anything, like, they could have absolutely been like, hey, here's like $500. This horse coming in last. And in which case, they would have been right. The race was rigged. His doors didn't even open.
Yeah,
The fact
But-
that he got that close to winning was the fluke.
But you wouldn't bet on a horse to lose. You bet on who wins.
I mean, you can bet on placements.
Can you?
I think you can.
Yeah.
I figured you just always bet on who won.
I mean, that's obviously like the big ticket thing. But in like the March Madness bracket where you're trying to guess where everyone is going to place, it's kind of like that. You can just like, hey, this horse, they're going to place here. That's my bet. So those two guys were definitely betting on Lucky Day to lose. And Oscar didn't overhear that part. Can you imagine this movie if he won that bet, though? Like, he just never
He
learns
ne-
anything
yeah,
and
he
then
never would've
dies
learned.
because he gets eaten.
I mean, Sykes probably would have just killed him to keep the million.
Yeah, that's a good point. He never even would have been out there to meet the sharks
No, it probably still would have progressed. Sykes would have just been a millionaire on the side.
He's like, yeah, we won. What do you mean we?
That was my money.
Fair point. Shark Tale exactly the same, but now Sykes is actually just independently rich.
Well, now, okay, in that scenario, who becomes his manager? Because then we stay out of this whole, like, figuring out who Shark Slayer is.
No, he would still be the manager because he did the manager thing to have immunity from Don Lino.
Yeah. So that still happens.
I don't think Don Lino, like, I mean, he would have respected the whole, hey, he can pay you off thing, but...
Well, no, the thing was, the problem wasn't that, like, Sykes couldn't pay. Sykes was like, hey, I definitely need you to pay me back now because I have to pay protection money when I didn't before.
Yeah.
So the fact that he's rich and can afford protection money, he still wants to not have to spend that money.
Also, Don Lino only threatened his car wash. Like, he only threatened his source of income. If he gets 1 million clams, he doesn't need to run that car wash anymore.
Yeah, he's probably gonna spend them pretty fast. You saw how he was at the end of the movie where he just was a
Yeah.
pimp for no reason. Imagine if he had 1 million clams to spend. Like,
Where did he get that hat?
I don't know, man.
That's a fur hat.
Where do you think Oscar's dad's hair went?
Oh no.
That-
Are you implying
What?
they stole Oscar's dad's hair
And
to make a hat
and straightened it.
and then
They
dyed
s-
it?
They stole this man's gold afro and dyed it purple.
Where else are they gonna get hair?
I don't know. Maybe it was like faux hair from seaweed that they shredded. Anything. Why was... What? Maybe it was that weird furry moss that grows on, like, in the ocean. What were you talking about?
Oscar's dad was an organ donor. He just never said which organ.
All right, cool. Podcast is over. Josh, do the outro, please.
This has been HQ Movie Review. I'm Josh.
I'm Jack.
I'm Brandon.
And I'm Heather.
We need to tell people where to listen to us.
After that, do
I
we?
don't know.
Should we? Morally, I think we shouldn't, but we will.
Check us out on Facebook and YouTube and anywhere you listen to podcasts.
Yep, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Good night, everybody.
Who in the halibut trips underwater?